Oh, no way! Oh, it's Sabretooth! Oh, look at these fights! Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to an episode of Let's Talk About It. We're talking about everything in the movie, TV, and video game world. I am your host, and we talk about topics that I find that are interesting, But if you guys have any topics you guys ever want to send in and have me talk about, just send the comments down below. Or just if you want to send a nice to see you message in the comments, send that as well, if you want. And, let's get into our first topic here today. And that is this. Not only do we have Deadpool and Wolverine coming out today, yes, today Deadpool and Wolverine come out. We also have San Diego Comic-Con this week, starting today too. And of course we know Marvel Studios is going to have a presentation on Saturday. Yes, on Saturday, which we are so very, very, very excited about. It's possible I might live stream that. I don't know. Might do a live stream for that. But anyways, we got Comic-Con coming, and of course, we're getting some little bit closer looks at some of the props and things Marvel has already dropped on the Comic-Con showroom floor. So according to the comicmovie.com, SDCC new Marvel logo unveiled along with best look yet at Captain America Brave New World costumes. And I think the big thing from this is the Captain America costume. The thing about it is that we're finally seeing what the helmet that we've seen in the photo art for Captain America 4 come out, and we've seen the helmet, and the helmet actually looks pretty badass, not gonna lie. I don't think the art really did justice. This helmet looks like they're gonna use it for a high altitude mission, and a lot of people are like, why is there a helmet? Captain America doesn't wear a helmet, he wears a mask. I'm like, well, if you really think about it, it could be a point in the movie where they have to go, let's say, to the Eternal statue, and they have to go wear a helmet because the altitude is so thick that no human can breathe up there. So Falcon, played by Danny Ramirez, and Sam Wilson's Falcon, Captain America, have to wear these helmets because they can't breathe because they're not super soldiers or superhuman, which makes a lot of sense, in a realistic terms. So I think the helmet, the helmets do look pretty badass. They do look pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie about that. And of course, they have more promotion going on there. They got a new Marvel logo featuring Deadpool and Wolverine, X-Men 97, and some of the comic characters as well, which is pretty cool. And this is just awesome to see kind of Comic-Con having a bit of a resurgence this year, because there's a lot of things happening at Comic-Con. Later today, we're supposedly getting a new Transformers 1 trailer, which I cannot wait to see some more footage from that film. You guys know I'm such a big Transformers fan. You also got almost the entire boys cast is going to be there as well. Like I said before, Marvel's going to be there. So many things are coming to Comic-Con, and it's just great to see people this excited to go back to Comic-Con. Because it is Comic-Con. It's where some of the best reveals have ever been had for movies in the superhero genre is at Comic-Con. So many iconic moments. And of course, the one thing I'm looking forward to the most is seeing the Fantastic Four cast on stage together. We got a photo actually this morning of the Fantastic Four cast, them together, their first official photo, and the cast already look like they're clicking. They already when I look at them, I'm like, that's the Marvel's first family, and I'm very excited to see the Fantastic Four cast, especially Joseph Quinn's Human Torch. I'm really big fan of Joseph Quinn. I loved him in Stranger Things. I loved him in Quiet Place, and I think I'm gonna love him in Fantastic Four. And he's also in Gladiator this year. But guys, what do you think? Are you guys excited for Comic-Con on Saturday, or anything else at all this week, with Marvel being there, with Transformers being there, and possibly another studio being there, which we're going to talk about on our next topic? So guys, let's move on to that topic right now, and that is this. DC Studios. The new DC Studios, run by James Gunn and Peter Safran, not going to be at Comic-Con this year. Which I think, I'm not totally bummed out because we are getting Marvel there. But, since DC Studios, they only got 2 projects in production right now, Superman and Peacemaker Season 2. But that doesn't mean they might not do anything. According to the comicbookmovie.com, DC Studios expected to break some news during San Diego Comic-Con, despite skipping Hall H. Now, it might not be super huge news. It's not going to be an announcement of like 10 to 12 projects. We're still a long ways away from most of the projects they've already announced coming to fruition. Many of the projects are years away from happening. Now, what I could see happening is either a couple things. The first thing, a Creatures Commandos trailer, or teaser. They drop a Creature Commandos teaser, being the first teaser for the DC Studios. That would be really cool to see, since it is expected to come out later this year. And since we've already got trailers for 2025 movies like F1 and Captain America: Brave New World, I wouldn't put it past them to drop a Creature Commandos trailer. The second, maybe the second thing possible, they could make some casting announcements. It was just announced a few weeks ago that Lanterns had been greenlit as an HBO original series. Well, maybe they tweeted, okay, here is your Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. That would be something that gets DC Studios popular. Like, oh my gosh, we got a Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. That'd be really, really cool. The third thing might be is that they might present more updates on upcoming series. Series that we haven't really heard about. Maybe talk about Batman: Brave and the Bold. Officially announce a director who we believe is Andy Muschietti. Maybe talk about some other series, how that's going. Talk about Supergirl. Since that's next DC Studios movie, maybe you officially announce a casting in Lobo, who's Jason Momoa. That's gonna get a big pop from DC Studios. And I'd say, the fourth and final thing, which is the least expected thing, is they maybe announce more projects, more movies. But I would say that's a very, very low chance of happening. But, it's still possible that something they announce. The Harley Quinn cast is going to be there. The Penguin series cast is going to be there at Comic-Con. DC's going to have a presence there, just not for DC Studios. But don't put it past you guys that they might just announce something. Like, James Gunn might just get on Twitter and be like, well, we'd like to announce a Captain Atom movie. And it's like, oh my gosh, they're making Captain Atom movie? Like, don't count DC Studios out. But what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. And let's move on to our third topic here today. And that is this. X-Men. X-Men is very much in the sphere of Marvel. One of the most important properties I think they are really working hard to get right. And for that, they got to do an X-Men movie. Of course, we know we have Deadpool and Wolverine coming out today. But that doesn't mean that Wolverine and Deadpool, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are going to be our main line heroes. Not our main line Wolverine or Deadpool. Because it is pretty much, I'm going to Deadpool and Wolverine thinking this is a final goodbye to that era of superhero movies, that era of X-Men, where we had James Marsden as Cyclops, Frankie Jensen as Jean Grey, Halle Bailey as Storm. It's a final goodbye, a final topping on the cake for Hugh Jackman and maybe Ryan Reynolds for those type of characters. And of course, we are moving into, I believe, a new phase in Marvel soon, which is mutants. And we're wondering, what is going to be the roster for this new X-Men? Of course, for the first one, I personally have my preference. I would really love Marvel to go the way of the first X-Men, the five first X-Men, which are Cyclops, Jean Grey, Iceman, Beast, and Angel. I would really love for them to start with those. But, of course, I don't work at Marvel, and I can't tell them what to do. But according to the comicbookmovie.com, there's a rumor going around that we actually might have 3 members confirmed already. According to them, 3 members of the X-Men in Marvel Studios' upcoming reboot have been revealed. Now, we already know that they are working on the script for this movie. It's been written by Michael Leslie, who did The Hunger Games, The Ballad, Songbirds and Snakes, which I think that is a very, very great writer they chose, because there's a bit of Hunger Games that can trans over to the Marvel Universe, especially X-Men. X-Men is a really, really great thing. And of course, the big rumor is are they going to use the same characters they used for X-Men 97? Because those characters worked really, really well. there's so many characters in the X-Men universe to use. So many characters for the X-Men to use. Of course, Kevin Feige really loves the X-Men, really, really loves them. And, I think, we could see a very, very, like, what's the word for it? Spread out team of X-Men. Like, there could not, maybe not even one team of X-Men, maybe even more. But going through the article, the free X-Men, that is according to Scooper, My Time to Shine, says that the three people he's hearing for the team right now are Angel, Iceman, and Jubilee. And I hear that and I'm like, okay, you got two of the characters you wanted. Jubilee, I'm actually down to see Jubilee in live action because in the Fox X-Men, we had Jubilee show up in X2 as a little cameo. Then Jubilee showed up in X-Men Apocalypse, which I thought she was going to have a bigger role, but unfortunately, I think they cut a lot of her stuff out, and that she wasn't able to have more time in the film. And I think, Jubilee is a character people love. You think of, like, characters, that people love, It's from that X-Men 97 show. And Jubilee is one of those characters. She's one of the main stands in the first few episodes of that X-Men original series. So that means people know the character. People like the character. And of course, with X-Men 97, all those X-Men characters that were in that show have been boosted up to super popularity. Now, I think, Angel and Iceman, I'm also very excited to see. Because I really want to see Iceman, most of all. Because I felt like Iceman, was not really... I loved Sean Ashmore. Sean Ashmore was a great Bobby Drake. But at times, I didn't really see Iceman, a lot from him playing him. I felt like that's not the Iceman I kind of read in the comics. The Iceman I read in the comics, he was like kind of a know-it-all. Like he thought he was better than everyone else. And I want to see that type of Iceman. And for Angel, Angel, they also was another Jubilee situation. They never really got Angel right, They had Angel in X-Free. He was supposed to suit up with the X-Men. Never happened. And then you had Angel show up in Apocalypse. And he just died, and it was kind of like a weird angel, like he's like an angel, like in a Russian Fight Club, not the Warren Worthington type of angel, who's like kind of who's his dad's part of a rich company, Worthington Industries, and like he has to kind of like hide who he is because he is on the rich side of society, while he has to also belong to these outcast society, which are mutants, and his father kind of hiding that. We kind of got that from Roberto this season. Like they could play that kind of as an Angel storyline as well. But I think if this is true, because this is just a scoop, and this is not from a reliable source, this is from a scooper who's been right sometimes, but also been right a few times. That these three characters are showing up. But what do you think? Angel, Iceman, and Jubilee are possibly our first confirmed X-Men characters coming in the X-Men reboot. Leave your comments down below, and let's move on to our final topic here. Staying on the topic of X-Men. Of course, I'm loving all the X-Men love. I'm loving all the X-Men news. Now that we got Deadpool and Wolverine coming out today, Kevin Feige says that this is just the beginning of mutants. According to Deadline, Marvel's Kevin Feige says Deadpool and Wolverine is just the beginning of more mutants coming to MCU. This is great thing to hear because Kevin Feige is saying like, this is just the beginning. This is the audience. We're trying to bring the X-Men back to make the audience excited for these characters again. But this is just the beginning, Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be leading into more mutants showing up. And what I think I mean by that, Kevin Feige means by that is that he is introducing this character to kind of honor where comic movies started. You guys probably know this, but if you don't know, Kevin Feige, when he was very young, was a producer on that very first X-Men movie. That was like one of the, I think, first films he worked on. And, I think X-Men means a lot to Kevin Feige. I think X-Men has been something he's always wanted to do. When he announced that Inhumans movie a few years ago, that he was trying to like be like, okay, since we don't have the X-Men, we'll do Inhumans. And then, they got X-Men, and then Inhumans tanked, but now he can finally do X-Men. And, seeing from Deadpool and Wolverine, seeing how, excited people are for these characters, excited to see this multiversal adventure Deadpool and Wolverine go on. I think it's no, no, no reason why you don't move forward with X-Men being your mainstay in the MCU. Maybe that's cutting back on, just some of the Avengers characters, if that's, to introduce X-Men. Because my thing is, like, there's so many different characters in X-Men. So many great characters in X-Men that the audience don't know yet. When you think of X-Men, you think of Wolverine, of course, because he is the main X-Men character people love. But there's so many also great characters, There's characters like Psylocke, characters like Havoc, characters like Polaris, characters like Storm, that people might know, but people haven't really know their backstories, Of course, I'd love to see solo films for characters like Storm, a a solo film for Scott Summers, a solo film for Jean Grey, a solo film for Iceman, and also seeing these guys coming together for X-Men, because X-Men, I think, is still very relevant in our world today. It's about people who are outcasted, people who are, subjugated by their powers, because they refer to the term mutants. And of course, there are people who hate these mutants, who physically attack these mutants because they are different. And the thing about the X-Men is that they are here not only to show the world, that they are good, that they are good people, and that you can trust them. The world can trust mutants, but they also show the mutants that you don't have to be afraid of who you are. They show the world that you can be who you are without being ridiculed, without being subjugated to acts of violence. They inspire people, and it can really be safe people for people today. You look at movements like Black Lives Matter. You look at all these movements who are trying to fight for rights for them to belong, to feel safe in the world. That is what the mutants are, and I really want them to take that approach. Because I feel like the Fox movies did it a little bit, but they never really got to the part where being a mutant was bad, that people hated them, because it still felt like the world tolerated mutants but never hated them. I really want them to go for that approach, because I think it'd be a really powerful message. And seeing that how popular Deadpool and Wolverine are, where this is a multiverse film, I think the next stage of X-Men is going to make a statement about the world we live in today, because X-Men has been around for so long. And you look at the messages from X-Men 97 and how much people related to some of these characters in the show. Seeing, that Roberto Sunspot, his mom accepted him, but really in front of the world, she did not accept him. And, X-Men just, I think, can be so powerful and so well done in MCU. And I'm glad Kevin Feige is saying we are now in the beginnings of the Mutant Saga. The saga I think I've been waiting for since I saw the Avengers show up. I was like, I want to see Wolverine with the Avengers. I want to see Wolverine standing side by side Iron Man. I want to see him with Captain America. I want to see this. And I can't wait for the future of Marvel, because it's been a long time since I've been excited for a Marvel movie for Deadpool and Wolverine. And I'm more excited that we are beginning the Mutant Saga in the MCU. But what do you guys think? Do you think the Mutant Saga will be the thing Marvel's looking for? And do you think that the mutants will be a right fit for the MCU? Leave your comments down below, and thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.